Audrey Rodrìguez, CUBuffs.com with Jesse Knori. The RMISA Championships are this weekend. Jesse, in last year's RMISA Championships, you placed 5th. Your Nordic team this season so far has been very successful. To what do you attribute your and your team's successes?
I think a large part of it is our fall training, and a lot of us we're a pretty senior team now. And we know our bodies pretty well. We've had a couple setbacks with health and injuries as a team, but I think overall everyone's had a really remarkable year.
How does preparing for a race, everything that goes into it, mentally, physically, how does that change this week?
Yeah, so I was just on the road for 3 weeks, and so I didn't have a ton of recovery time necessarily. I was doing a lot of racing, a lot of training, and it's been nice this week to kind of reflect back on all the work I did, but also make sure that I'm not overtraining or pushing myself too hard. So my roommate and I, Christine, have definitely been telling each other that we have to take it easier and ski a little slower to make sure that you're recovered for these races.
So what is it going to take to get onto the podium at this year's race?
I think, well, this year's nice because it flip-flopped from last year, so now we're doing a 5K Classic and then a 15K skate, and I just love 5K Classic, so I think a huge part for me is just making sure that you're having fun and you're not putting a podium expectation on myself per se, just kind of going out and knowing that I have the strength and the endurance and just to ski. And then for the 15K skate, it's really just, it helps having the group mentality because you're with everyone else that you can see and you know how they're doing. Or in the classic race, you're just on the course alone and you get a split from your coach, but other than that, you really just have to go as hard as you can.
Now, I don't know if you study the weather for the race day, but what would you say would be the perfect snow, the perfect weather for a Nordic race?
Yeah, so weather's a huge part for us because you have kick wax on your classic skis and that only works with certain weather, and so you have to be completely prepared for what the race is going to have. So perfect weather always for us is like blue skies, a nice clean wax course, preferably no snow or rain.
Right. I wish you all the luck, and I'll see you there this weekend. Now we're going to talk to Roger Carry as he looks on to competing in the RMISA Championships this coming weekend. So Roger, you did not participate in this event last year.
No, I got hurt February last year and had to miss the regional championships.
Can you give us a little injury update?
Things are going pretty well. Still have a little bit of pain in my knee, but for the most part, it's been a decently smooth comeback. You know, always longer than you'd expect, but it's been good.
Your men's alpine team has been very successful this season. To what do you attribute the successes?
You know, it's hard to pin it down on one thing in particular, but I think we just have a really strong group of guys that feed off each other in training, and you know, we push each other every day, and whether it's the weight room or on course, that's been really beneficial. And of course, our addition of David Ketterer this year has been really helpful. He's an amazing skier and pushes all of us in slalom and GS, so yeah, you know, it's just a good group.
What type of mentality do you have going into a big race like this?
I try and treat it like every other race, just because in ski racing it doesn't feel very productive to put added pressure on. You know, you kind of just got to focus on the process and the results will come from there.
How does your training differ the week leading up to a race as compared to just a regular week in training?
You know, it depends on kind of what part of the season you're in, but right now we try and keep the volume a little lower just because everybody's kind of fatigued from the road, and just kind of brush up on the smaller things rather than try and force a whole bunch of volume.
What type of snow do you prefer for the races that you do?
You know, Colorado snow is probably my favorite. It's kind of forgiving and grippy, and yeah, it's probably the best snow I've skied, I think.
What have you been doing this week in practice to prepare for the races you have ahead of you?
Just kind of focusing on consistency, I would say, and just making every turn as smooth as I can, and you know, hoping it pays off on Friday and Saturday.
Well, good luck this weekend. I'll see you there.
Sounds good.
And yeah, I hope your knee feels well.